Love him or hate him, Xi Jinping has undoubtedly changed China. Since coming to power in 2012, he has pursued an ambitious goal of a great revitalization of the nation, a dream to make China powerful and prosperous. 12 years later, Xi has indeed transformed China. Under his leadership, the country has consolidated its position as a global power with enormous economic clout, a modernizing military, and advances in technology. While much progress has been made during Xi's time in power, China also faces significant challenges. In this article, we will look at how Xi Jinping has transformed China. Regardless of one's personal attitude towards him, it is clear that influential leadership is essential to a great nation, and Xi has played a key role in this. Xi Jinping has played a crucial role in revolutionizing China's economy, taking it to levels that even the US finds daunting. Here are some key points that illustrate China's transformation under Xi Jinping's leadership. China's economic growth and GDP growth. In the 1970s, few people paid attention to China. It was a poor country with a huge population. However, once China opened its doors to investors and foreign businesses by initiating economic reforms, its GDP began to grow. By the 1990s and early 2000s, China earned the nickname "Workshop of the World," and the phrase "Made in China" became ubiquitous. Recent years have seen steady economic growth with an average annual GDP increase of nearly 7% between 2013 and 2019. Since Xi Jinping came to power, China's economic growth has only accelerated. Since 2012, when Xi became leader, the country's GDP has more than doubled from $8.53 trillion to $17.73 trillion. Today, China is the world's second-largest economy after the United States. Much of this growth has been driven by manufacturing, which has propelled China to the top spot in the world as of 2010. China now contributes about 20% of global GDP, up from 11% when Xi came to power. However, the country's leadership is now looking to shift to a service-oriented economy and domestic consumption. China's economic development path has not been entirely smooth. The country faces significant challenges, including a crisis in the real estate sector, increased regulation, and harsh quarantine measures that have disrupted the economy and increased unemployment. Xi's anti-corruption campaign. Upon coming to power, Xi Jinping launched a high-profile campaign to root out corruption within the Communist Party. This initiative was popular with the people and, according to many analysts, also served as a strategic tool to eliminate political opponents. In the 3 decades leading up to Xi's 2012 rise to power, market-oriented economic reforms in China took place without a corresponding increase in political accountability or transparency, leading to widespread corruption. For Xi, dishonest and greedy officials have been major obstacles to strengthening party rule, which he sees as essential to China's progress. He has taken a tough top-down approach to enforcing greater discipline among cadres, investigating millions of cases over the past decade. Domestically, these policies have been well received by the public, but Xi has also used the anti-corruption campaign to eliminate political rivals, promote allies, and consolidate his power. And his efforts are far from complete. Military modernization and national security. Xi Jinping has initiated an ambitious campaign to modernize and strengthen China's military. Under his leadership, the number of aircraft carriers has increased from 1 to 3, although this is still fewer than the 11 US carriers. China also established its first overseas military base in Djibouti, located in East Africa. The country's military budget has grown to $252 billion in 2020, second only to the US budget, as the military modernizes and rearms significantly. According to Xi, the mission of China's People's Liberation Army is to protect the country's core interests. This includes claims to vast territories in the South China Sea and Taiwan. Over the past decade, Xi Jinping has stepped up efforts to unify mainland China with Taiwan, effectively blocking the self-governing island from the outside world. Xi's army modernization strategy encompasses not only the expansion and modernization of naval capabilities, but also advances in areas such as cyber warfare, space technology, and missile technology. The goal is to transform the PA into a world-class army capable of projecting power and defending China's global interests. Domestically, this emphasis on military power and national security has been framed as something vital to protecting China's sovereignty and supporting its ascent as a global power. On the international stage, this has caused tensions to rise, especially with neighboring countries and the US, which view China's growing military capabilities and assertiveness with concern. China's One Belt, One Road initiative. In 2013, under Xi Jinping's leadership, China launched the One Belt, One Road initiative, one of the world's largest infrastructure projects, also known as the New Silk Road. This ambitious initiative aims to build power plants, roads, railroads, and ports around the world, strengthening China's ties with Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East. It is a cornerstone of Xi Jinping's strategy to enhance China's global security, influence, and presence in the world. According to recent data, more than 200 cooperation agreements under the IPP have been signed with more than 150 countries and 30 international organizations. These projects include building or upgrading critical infrastructure such as roads, ports, railways, pipelines, and trade facilities. PPI also aims to improve internet connectivity and promote digital technologies. For example, an IPP-funded project in Mozambique provided satellite television to 1,000 villages. One of the largest PPI projects is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPC, launched in 2015. This corridor connects the port of Gwadar in Pakistan on the Arabian Sea to Kashgar in China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. The project includes the construction of airports, railways, highways, and pipelines, with Chinese investment exceeding $60 billion. Another notable IPP project is the recently completed high-speed railroad linking the Indonesian cities of Jakarta and Bandung. This first high-speed rail line in Southeast Asia reduced the travel time between these cities from 3.5 hours to 45 minutes. The cumulative cost of the IPP has already surpassed $1 trillion, a huge sum that China plans to repay through various debt repayment schemes. This massive credit flow has made China the world's largest creditor. While some Western media claim that China is using IPP projects for debt trap diplomacy, as in the case of the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka, there are many other positive examples. China's decade-old network of networks has brought significant benefits to developing countries. For example, the China-Laos Railroad has transformed Laos from a dead end to a transit country, increasing its connectivity and economic prospects. Green energy transformation. One of China's most significant transformations under Xi Jinping's leadership has been the development of the green energy sector. The electric vehicle industry, for example, has seen impressive growth. Chinese electric cars are now widespread around the world, except in the US. UDS predicts that Chinese automakers will sell 5 million cars overseas in 2024, mostly in developing countries in Southeast Asia, cementing China's status as the world's largest exporter. In addition to electric vehicles and battery technology, China has become the world's largest producer of solar energy. In 2023, China accounted for 83% of global solar panel production, while the US accounted for less than 2%. Under Xi Jinping, China has set ambitious climate targets, aiming to peak carbon emissions by 2030. This commitment underscores China's determination to lead the global transition to sustainable energy. And here are some of the transformations Xi Jinping has brought to China. Do you agree with our list? Whether you love Xi Jinping or hate him, there is no denying that he has brought significant change to China and transformed the country's role on the global stage. Share your thoughts on Xi Jinping and the future of China in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. To show your support, don't forget to subscribe to our channel where you will find many more interesting videos. We wish you all the best and hope you continue to follow the changes in China and the world with us. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video to the end.